How do you ask better questions of your clients? This is a skill that consultants develop over time, but there's a few hints and tips that I would like to give. So I've just been teaching my MBA students how to ask questions of clients, because they're coming up to their live projects where they go away and act as consultants for clients. And let's take, for example, a firm that I run. So I set up a charity called Repair Cafe Wales 5 years ago. We fix things for free. Now, if this firm, so it's an environmental charity. So we fix things for free to save people throwing them away, to save members of the public money. Now, if I called you in to potentially employ you as a consultant to help me improve my activities, what questions would you ask me? This is the question I pose to the students. And a lot of them, you could see them starting to come up with ideas about potential solutions, how to make us better, more volunteers, more activities. The trouble with doing that is that all of the questions were about those potential solutions. So in effect, they were asking micro level questions. If you imagine a problem tree with a big box at the top and then perhaps 3 boxes underneath, and each of those boxes leads to another 3 boxes. So you've got a big problem tree. They were asking problems which are right down the bottom. And the problem with that is that you're not asking the important questions. So for example, they would ask, they asked, what demographic do your volunteers come from? Or, have you considered about becoming a for-profit company? Now, these are almost random questions that may or may not be relevant down the line, but you're asking questions really at the bottom of the hierarchy. And the key question I ask my students is, why are you asking that question? And the answer to that allows you to go up the problem tree. So if we take the example of, what demographic are your volunteers? And I said, well, why are you asking that question? And they said, well, because I want to better understand how we can get more volunteers. Good. Okay, so we're going up a level. Well, why are you asking that question? Well, because I think that getting more volunteers will allow us to do more good in society, to repair more things. Okay, so we're going up a level. The box up here is, how do we repair more items? So whenever you're thinking about a question to ask a client, always ask yourself, why am I asking this question? What's the bigger question? What's the more strategic question? What's the more important question that I should be asking? And that might lead you to some questions that, might seem quite stupid, but it's important to ask the stupid questions. Because right at the top, you've really got the question of, why are you doing what you are doing? What's the purpose? What's the value that you're deriving? People very often think the top box is about profit. Well, that's way too simplistic. Profit is a means to do other things. How do you get your profit? Why are you getting profit in this way? Why short term rather than long term? Why you structured your business in this way? Everyone's interested in profit. It doesn't really add any value to ask that question. The real question at the top is, why are you doing the things that you're doing, especially in the way you're doing them? And that's a question that stumps a lot of clients. So really, my tip is to ask yourself, why am I asking this question? When you're preparing to go into the client, I'm assuming you've done the research. I'm assuming you've looked at the competitors. I'm assuming you've looked at industry trends and all the rest of it. But when you've actually got the chance to ask the client questions, really try and start with the big boxes at the top, the more strategic questions, even if the question might come across as a bit obvious. Because it's only by asking the obvious questions that very often you challenge the client at a fundamental level. Anyway, I hope that was useful.